I find it a very interesting solution to kind of introduce people to VR, and a lot of people have phones. In fact, I guess that most adult people in our Western world have phones who are capable of rendering good VR, so that's a good solution. And by the way, Microsoft is also doing work in that space, and so you will see this year, some virtual reality headsets coming out, cabled. So this is not HoloLens, to be clear. It's going to be cabled. It's going to work with pretty much any Windows 10 computer. And the platforms, the applications that you can render there are built with the same technologies and the HoloLens technology. So basically that can be a good way to get a head start in that space. Those headsets are going to be fairly cheap. We talk about $300 price point as a starting, and they will be built by OEMs, so Asus, Acer, Dell, etc. So it's kind of an interesting way. The so-called Creators Update of Windows 10, which just came out, includes a lot of 3D directly built into the experience, like for example 3D in Office, 3D models in PowerPoint, these kind of things. And so using the VR is just the next step if you want. So that's VR. Now if we talk about augmented reality, we already had a glimpse of that this morning, or more than a glimpse. Of course, the well-known augmented reality solution where you watch a football match and then you add some information on it. The reality being transmitted through the camera, and the information is here to enhance your understanding of the game. Like in my case, how many players are there on the field? I'm not a really big football fan, but whatever. Apparently they play for 90 minutes, so that's good to know. Anyway, of course, if you have phones, then you have sensors. So that gets really much more interesting. And then you have the GPS, you have the accelerometer, you have the compass, and so you're going to point your device to something, and so you can also put some billboards on top of that. So this is really augmenting the real reality, okay? And of course you also have things like that. This is an application where I can point it to the sky and see the planes flying over my house. In that case it was pretty cloudy, but I know how many planes there are, how high they fly from where to where, so it's quite interesting. Of course we have Pokemon Go, right? Everybody played that last year, or if you have kids, you know what I'm talking about. It was pretty crazy, and that leads me to believe that we are at a turning point right now in the industry, where on one hand, the devices are finally ready to play those experiences in good conditions, and second of all, the society is ready for that as well. So really, my mom knows what Pokemon Go is, and finally she understood what augmented reality is. And I'm not even talking about my kids, right? They know that out of the crib immediately, but basically it's really cool to see that everybody's kind of embracing that. So 2016, 2017 are really key years for these kind of things. Now when we talk about mixed reality, or to be precise, when Microsoft talks about mixed reality, what we understand is something which is like augmented reality, so I'm interacting with a real reality, okay? But in addition, I'm going to be immersed into that reality. I'm going to participate. My head is the camera. And so, of course, one of the key features for that is a spatial perception. So we have spatial mapping on the HoloLens, which means that on each side of the device, we have some Kinect devices. They are miniaturized. By the way, the inventor of HoloLens is also the inventor of Kinect, so there is no surprise here, Alex Kipman. And so those Kinects are going to map the room. They are going to see. They don't know exactly what is that, but they know it's a surface, and they know the orientation of the surface, and so I can interact with the surface. If I have the podium here, I can take a hologram, drop it with physics, it's going to fall on the table and then on the floor. So that is a very interesting experience because you see the actual reality, the floor, the ceiling, the walls, but in addition you can really interact with those. Okay? Another spatial feature which is really interesting is the spatial audio. What it means is that I'm able in code to put audio in a location, and if I turn my head I'm going to hear the audio coming from that location. And that's really a critical experience because since the user is immersed into the scene, sometimes you need to notify him that something is happening behind him, which can be very scary if the behind thing is a zombie, for example. But basically that's a really cool way to attract the user's attention. So this morning we had a great talk, I thought, I don't know where the speaker is, but about the new user interactions with these kind of experiences. And so sound, gestures, etc. This is all new. We have to invent pretty much everything. So spatial audio, spatial mapping are really key to this kind of experiences. All this is running directly on the device. So the device has a CPU, a GPU, an HPU. It's a holographic processing unit. It's a new chip that Microsoft developed, which is helping to place the holograms so that we kind of fool the brain into believing that they are real, okay? And all this is running directly on your head, so there is no cable, it's fully untethered, and it is running Windows 10, which is pretty cool because it's going to allow me to run any Windows 10 universal application. When I say universal application, I don't mean the standard Windows 32 for those of you who know what I'm talking about applications, but really this new class of application which run everywhere on phones, on Xbox, on PC, laptops, and also on HoloLens. I'll show you a demo in a moment. So you really have Windows on your head, which is a scary thought, but it does work pretty well. Okay, so here are a few views of the device. So here you see the sensors for the spatial mapping. As you see, they are very small Kinect devices, and they are much more powerful than their predecessors, so it's quite interesting. Here we have, I need to go. Here we go. This is the lens on which the holograms are going to be placed, and the HPU, which is going to do the processing of the light. And finally, we have a view here on the speakers. They sit just above your head. It's very comfortable because you don't have anything in your ear. You hear very well, but if you want, you can also isolate yourself by putting some headsets. It is possible. Okay, I'm going to show you a demo now. If you want to connect later, you can get me on Twitter. Bugnion is my handle. So this is a very simple hologram. Those are provided by Microsoft out of the box. Here we go. Or there is an astronaut here. This is a 3D video. And so of course if I move around, you see, I don't want to walk on the dog, but you see that it is actual 3D. I could go around and see everything very well. I told you about those applications. So this is a totally standard Windows application. The developer didn't do anything to put it on the HoloLens. It just works. So in that case, it's Twitter. And if I do something very risky in conferences, I go and see who is talking about myself. This is what we have. I can refresh with some gestures. You see this is a scroll gesture. Or of course, we have the web. We have our homepage here. Now those are 2D applications. They are pretty cool because they have a nice look. You see the spatial mapping is pretty nice. It doesn't move much, okay? And by the way, you see that I see the stage. I'm not afraid to walk around, right? If I go here, I know exactly where I have to stop before I fall down the stage, which is really a very, very different experience from VR, okay? So now I'm going to show you some applications, some immersive applications. This is a gesture to show the Windows 10 menu. And the first application I want to show you is a super simple application. It's something I use to teach HoloLens programming to 101 students. And this is an application which is fun because it interacts with the real world. So I'm just going to wait until it starts, take a few seconds. Actually, I notice it's a little bit slower than usual. I'm not sure what's going on with my machine right now. All right, here we go. So we have a cube. Okay, I can go around the cube. I can make it drop, falls down, and then what I can do is push it around, and if I push it far enough, it's going to fall down the stage because it knows that there is a stage. So that's a really nice feature, I think. And of course, you can imagine that those holograms can also interact together. By the way, the device is collaborative, so we can easily have multiple HoloLens seeing the same scene at the same time and interacting with it, which is also pretty cool because you can walk around with your colleagues and inspect the model, etc. Now let me show you a few things a little bit more interesting. Some of the applications we are working around. So this is HoloTire. It's a solution that we use as a point-of-sale demo. And in that case, we partnered with a firm who is doing tires. And I'm going to put the demo here on the stage. And here we have a tire, of course. It's quite a high-definition model. I can walk around and inspect it. And of course, this is very useful if you want to show a model which doesn't exist yet, for example, like next year's model. Or I can also show some hidden features. So if I tap on the tire, I can see, for example, the tread and what would happen if the tread is used, these kind of things. Or I can show the sensor, which is inside the tire, which is giving me information about the road condition, the tire pressure, etc. So this is one of the applications we are producing. Let me show you something else. This one is pretty cool. It's our chemical plant. So in that case, we got a 3D model from the client. We put it on the HoloLens. And now, of course, we can inspect the plant. So this is a distillery. We have quite a lot of industrial clients. Here we go. It's a little bit small, so I'm going to make it bigger. To make it bigger, I have to talk to the device, which is always risky in a big room, so bear with me. Scale up. Scale up. So voice recognition is very good on the HoloLens. We can use that to enhance the experience. And here you see the red pipe here. So I'm going to extract it. And now I can inspect it. So if you do some maintenance, it can be interesting. And interestingly, I can also click on one of those valves, and we embedded the blueprint directly in the valve. So here you can probably not read on the screen because there is a loss of resolution due to the transmission, but myself I can read the blueprint very well, and so I can decide what I want to do with that. Of course, what's interesting also is to inspect the model from inside. So what I'm going to say is make it big. I'm going to say scale huge. And now I am more into a virtual reality experience if you want, but it's kind of interesting to combine both. Also, I'm not afraid to walk around. And if I had a colleague who is also with me inside the scene, then we can talk about, hey, this pipe shouldn't be here, or maybe I can take notes as I walk around. So there is also some advantage in this kind of experience in augmented reality, in mixed reality in that case. I can also go up. Here we go. So we built a lift if we want to move from floor to floor. All right, the last experience I want to show you before my time is up is what we call our HoloBeam. And so this is a telepresence application where we combine the Kinect, a standard Kinect device, and the HoloLens. So a person will be filmed by the Kinect. In that case, we have only one Kinect, so you will see only half of the person, and transmitted over the internet to the headset, and so the headset can visualize the person in 3D. So in that case, this is a recording, but we also have a real live mode where you can see the person with a little bit of latency, but it's very usable for 3D Skype if you wish. So basically, this is my colleague René. He works in Dresden. He's our director of HoloLens experience, immersive experiences, and he's just talking about what we are doing with HoloLens. So you can see the potential, for example, for remote training, for education, for just talking to your family, and these kind of things. And we think that there is a big potential for this kind of experience. All right, this was a short demo. I hope you had fun and that you understand the potential of the device a little bit better. I'm going to stay here until 4 p.m. more or less, so if you have questions, don't hesitate to come, and I don't want to make you sick by moving the device too much, so I'm going to put it down. And thank you very much for your attention, and have a great rest of the afternoon. Thank you.